What is up, everyone? Welcome, Twitch live friends, YouTube friends, wherever you're watching. Welcome to an Elden Ring tier list. I'm going to go through and rank all the bosses from the game, from S tier being the highest and F tier to being the lowest. So this is my first ever tier list. So I'm going to do my darndest to explain why I'm choosing things and just see how we go. I'm pretty sure I fought all of these bosses, and I'm just looking at this list. And there are some, there's so many. There are some that aren't really bosses, like Wormface and Lion Guardian and Kindred of Rot. They're kind of just like mini bosses, I suppose. They don't have like a nameplate and stuff. So we'll still rank them, but we'll just, yeah, won't worry too much about putting a lot of emphasis on them. So without further ado, let's get started. Battle Mage. Hughes. Is this a man? This is a man inside a jail, correct? Wormface is a boss in Elsis. Huh, there you go. I mean, honestly, this dude's not very memorable. I don't really remember Battle Mage Hughes that much. A lot of the jail bosses, I don't know, because you find them. I'm just putting it in C tier just so it's like that's my resting place, and then I'll put it where I think it goes. Yeah, a lot of the jail bosses, pretty underwhelming in my opinion. A lot of them, you know, you get to at very random points in the game depending on the exploration and stuff that you went on your journey. And to be honest, the fact that I can't even remember this guy, probably D tier. I don't really remember you, mate. The Beast of Azur. So this is in Limgrave. This is very early on in the game. This is definitely one of the easier bosses, and the way that I'm going to rank bosses is based on like aesthetics, their moves, how hard or fun they were, the music, the arena, like all of those things are going to play a factor, and their memorability, I suppose. If I don't remember them, I'm probably going to put them in D tier. So this is a boss that I fought a lot because I've played through the game quite a few times. I played through it on network tests. I played through it like multiple times at the start of the game. Through doing like challenge runs and my actual run. I mean, the thing is as well, like the Beast of Azur also becomes just like a standard enemy when you go to Crumbling Azur. So it's like, it's kind of hard to take it too seriously because it's like, it just becomes a shitty enemy. It's a fine fight. His moves are pretty cool. Like when you're, I feel like if you were a brand new Souls player coming into the games, he's quite aggressive. His moves reach really far and he's kind of like constantly on you. There's not a lot of downtime. So I think like for a new player, this might be a bit like heckies. I don't think it's a bad boss. The arena is really cool. Like the cave where you fight him is pretty cool, and the lead up to it is quite epic. We've got like the dark cave with all the wolves kind of coming at you, which sets the scene like it's a very bestial place. So, I mean, I don't mind Beast. I don't think it's an excellent boss. I don't think it's a bad boss. I think it's just kind of cool. And it's like a nice, for like a returning Souls player, it was a nice boss that I could just kind of walk into and first try. So, you know, I think that's a fun one. The Bell-Bearing Hunter. So this guy spawns at night in a few places. I don't actually think that I fought him in, maybe we should make F tier that I haven't fought them or something, because I mean, this guy also has the same weapon set as, I can't remember his name, but he's in the Shaded Castle. He's got the same like Darth Vader sword thing. He's Elmer of the Briar, that's the one. I really like this boss. His moveset's fucking crazy. His reach is like the entire arena. Let's just assume, is there also the Elmer guy in this list? I can't see him. I don't know. Maybe. Let's just assume that this is Elmer of the Briar. So I really like this boss. Cool moves. The arena that you fight him in the Shaded Castle is like really small, and there's all those tables and everything. So second row on the right. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's the same moves. So I guess we could probably rank Bell-Bearing Hunter down a little bit because he spawns in multiple locations. But yeah, in terms of I've seen the fight. I haven't done it personally, but I've seen the fight. It's a cool friggin' boss. And the gear that you get as well. It's technically from Elima, but same thing. I guess in that case, I would probably put Elima. Let's just rank them together because they're basically the same. I would probably put Elima in like probably B, I would say. And yeah, if you manage to, like you said, stumble upon him, because I know that he spawns in the Church of Vows at nighttime. So if you're in, I think it's the portal in Raya Lucaria, that portal takes you to the Church of Vows. And if you do it at nighttime, he spawns. Or if you just walk in at nighttime, he spawns when the turtle's not there. I can imagine that being like a bit of a shock early on. And then if you die and come back, you're like, where's he gone? So that would be like a cool experience. So I think that's just like cool boss, cool gear. Weapon is wicked. You also get the weapon from Elima. It's a cool boss. I don't think it's outstanding. I don't think it's like the most noteworthy of the series, but I think it's definitely a worthy boss. Yeah, so we're going to rank them on how fun they are, how good the music is, the atmosphere, like the arena, if they're hard, easy, that kind of stuff, and the aesthetics, of course. Okay, I'm going to be, yes, I was just about to mention the dragons. Now, I know there's a lot of dragon fans out there. You're not going to like me for this. I'm probably going to rank the first dragon that you encounter in the lake highly, because I found the entrance of that dragon was freaking epic. And because it was the first one that you fight, the moveset's not annoying. But after you fight 40,000 of them, they kind of get annoying. By the time I got to Borealis, I was fucking over it. So where is the first dragon? Let's rank him first, because I think that's fair, and then we can rank the others accordingly. I think that's something I'm also going to take into account is like, at what point did I get to them in the game? And how was the experience at that stage of the game, I think, as well. So the first dragon, if you guys can spot it, feel free to point it out. The names are so tiny. I don't remember his name. The dragon's names all kind of just like mesh into one. Outside of like Lich Dragon and Plasuiax, a Gil Lake guy. That's right. I just thought the entrance, Flying Dragon Agil. Here we go. We're gonna go out of order. So I thought the entrance of Flying Dragon Agil was really freaking cool. Like you're so early in the game. I personally was running around on Torrent through the lake, and then used to see this dragon coming in from the distance and like kill that whole group of dudes that were camped in the middle of the lake. And it's just like a really epic entrance. And it was very like whimsical, because it was the first time you'd seen a dragon in the game. Little did you know that you'd see 20,000 more dragons. But I think this one in particular was really cool, and just learning how to fight the dragons. I think I like faced him so much in the network test, and that was the first time that I ever saw that like big epic entrance, which unfortunately I wasn't streaming during because it was all like offline. But that was really cool. I really thought that was like a neat introduction to the dragons. So where does it go? I think it's a bit, it always feels epic as a Souls player fighting like this big impossible enemy. So dragons, for that reason, when you think about like the dragons in the previous games, if you think of like Medea, I'm trying to think of other dragons, what's his face? Calamite. They've always been really epic fights. And I think this one in particular, I'm going to probably pop up into the A tier, because I think entrance-wise, the whimsicalness of it and like the first introduction to the dragons was really cool. Having said that, moving on to Borealis, the freezing fog. This boss fucking annoyed the shit out of me. His moves were so annoying. Like the frost attack where he just like screams and covers the whole thing in frost was just so annoying, and I just got so over it. I still think it's a neat boss in that you are fighting the elements of not having visuals. Like when you first come across, this is on the top side of the map in the snowy area. When you come across this dragon, it's just a big open lake, and then you get closer and it all starts to shroud in fog. So that's like a cool experience. But at that point in the game, you fought so many dragons. The moveset's basically the same. They do the same tropes. Like if you're behind them, they'll do a tail fling and then they'll chomp at you and then they'll fly up and they'll do their frosty breath or their fire breath or their poison breath or whatever breath they've got. And it's just like, they're just kind of So I'm going to put Borealis in C. Because remembering, at that point in the game, I fought so many Morgan dragons. I'm so over it. Okay. Next. Cemetery Shade? What is that? Is that the thing that has the bug on top of its head? Is that the invisible thing that has like the little bug and then it goes, bleh? That thing? Okay, cool. I don't know if I got to this place way too early in my journey, but this boss was pretty easy. I don't remember. I feel like it summoned things as well. I feel like you definitely fight a couple of these in a couple of the dungeons. It was neat. Like it did bleed. It had the crazy like scythe cutty things. And it goes invisible and like teleports. I feel like it would have been cooler maybe if it was maybe more resistance to like physical damage or something. I don't know. It seemed kind of like underwhelming a bit. I wouldn't like go out of my way. If I knew it was somewhere else, I'd be like, I don't really care to fight it again. So I'm probably gonna pop it in D tier, I think. Clean Rot Night. Okay, so I don't really recall was this inside a cave? It also dies in 2 hits? Yeah, okay. It's kind of pathetic. Clean Rot Night. I know that these are the enemies in the Shaded Castle. And they have like the cool Millennia kind of armor. I'm pretty sure... Is this the one that you fight 2 of them? One has like a thrusting weapon and one has like a striking weapon or something like that? I think so. I think these might have just been inside some random cave or something. Again, don't really remember it. There is a double fight and a solo fight. Yeah, okay. I mean, they're fine. It's the Golden Scarab Cave in Caelid. Yeah, okay. I think I got to this point pretty late in my run because I remember going back to get the Golden Scarab after I finally discovered where it was with that weird like traverse through the fallen tree. It's fine. It's nothing crazy. Again, like you see these enemies in other parts of the map, so it's not like a big shock when you get to it. It's kind of like the dual Adductor Virgins. It's like, all right, you're just like an enemy that I've seen a bunch of times, so you know, whatever. There's no like big mystery or big like reveal or anything. It's kind of like, you're just like a trash enemy, but there's 2 of you. Okay, let's do this. So yeah, I think for that reason, I'm going to pop you down in the D tier. Commander Nile. I don't know what order this is. It's so random. Commander Nile. Commander Nile summons... I don't know if they're Clean Rot Knights, but he summons 2 of those like lightning, spinny, windy attack guys. That annoy the shit out of me. And I'm actually up to him right now in my boss rush. I really like phase 2. I like phase 2 of Commander Nile when you're not worried about his summons and he has like the hook foot with the big lightning slam. He has some really cool moves. I think the arena is pretty bland. It's just like a courtyard. It's nothing that spectacular. He's fine. I like the second phase, and you do get his gear. He's got the cool like fluffy cape. I don't think it's like an outstanding fight. I think the first phase is really heckin' annoying as well. I don't like the summons. They are alphabetical? Oh. Black Kindred was Commander, kind of. Okay, a little bit. So yeah, I think he belongs in the C tier. I think he's fine. I don't think he's the best. I don't think he's the worst. He can just live in the C tier. They kind of are in alphabetical. Black Blade Kindred. So I'm guessing this is the one that's sitting in front of our Death Eater friend, Garang. Looks like that's his little room. I love Blackblade Kindred. He's, for the longest time, because of my before the road lift, because of my build in my first playthrough, I was doing no fucking damage to him. Like, he was always such a huge obstacle in my way. I'd be like, I'm gonna come, because you get teleported to Kaled pretty early if you go and talk to D, and you go and talk to Garang, and then you come out and there's this big dude just standing there, and you're like, I could take him, and then you whack him and you do 0 damage, and he just freaking abuses you. Oh, yeah, okay. So yeah, I really like Blackblade Kindred. You do fight iterations of this enemy a few times. There is one of them on the path to the capital. There's one in the Lift of Rold. There's also 2 of them in that place. What's it called? The watery place outside of Siofra. Even though there are a few of them, I really like the Blackblade Kindred. I think it deserves to be in the B tier. It has some cool moves. It's very mobile. It's very fast. Again, I think it's the best boss in the game, but I'm leaving S tier. S tier is going to be like the top 5. Like, there's not going to be many in S tier. A lot of them are going to be around like A and B. And there's probably not going to be that many in F tier, because I only really think there's maybe a couple that deserve to be like actual trash, get out of the game style. Yeah, I think Blackblade is kind of on par. When I think of like Elma's a really fun fight. I think it deserves to be around B tier. Yeah, I don't know. There are a lot of really freaking good bosses. Like, yeah, we'll get to them when we get to them. The Black Knife Assassin. So this is outside of the... Oh God, I need to bring a map up. I know where it... I can picture where it is. It's outside of the hero's grave. You get the Black Blade from this too, right? I really love this boss. I think the moveset's interesting, and I love the fact that all of the Black Knife Assassins are women as well. It just makes it even more badass for me. Love the moves. Love the weapon that you get. Love their gear, which you do get, but not from that fight. Their gear is insanely cool if you want to run like a dagger setup and be all stealthy and shit. Their set is so sick. I really like this boss. It's really hard too. What's the one? I can't remember the freaking areas. The place in the snow where you do all the... You gotta light all the beacons. There's one of these as well, but it's not like a boss. It's just an enemy that's there. I think Black Knife Assassin honestly deserves to be an A tier. I really love that fight. It's freaking cool. That's really dope. That's a fun one. Invisible ones are F tier. yeah, pretty much. Okay, Bloodhound Knight, Darrowil. I feel like I'm probably going to rate this highly because I love the weapon. The weapon is so good and the skill on the weapon is sick. The fight is probably one of the first ones in Limgrave because it's in that first area at one of the first jails that you go to. Probably one of the first bosses that I was like, oh, like before you get to mug it and stuff, you're like, oh, okay, this is like a bit tricky. Once you know how to fight him, it's a little bit more easy to tackle, I suppose. But when I first come across this boss, he kicked my ass. He does bleed. He's super fast. He has the Bloodhound quick step or whatever it's called, where he goes like invisible and then does that 3-prong. He does like it's like a spin and then a slash and then he jumps up and does another one. There's like a 3 combo, which is hard. But I like this boss a lot. Out of all of the jail bosses, a lot of the jail bosses are pretty like pathetic. But I thought Bloodhound Knight Darrowil was cool. And it also has a bit of a tie-in with the lore with Blade. If you go talk to Blade first in Mistwood, he can then come in and like summon. And I like that it has a tie to the story. So that's kind of cool because you learn about Darrowil if you go through that path. Like you learn of a person called Darrowil at some point. The helmet is kind of weird looking, but the cloak and everything's very like, it's almost Dancer-esque, which I love. Like Dancer is one of my highest rated bosses in all of the Soulsborns. And it's almost a little Abyss Watchers as well, which I like a lot too. So I feel like Darrowil's probably up in A tier for me, to be honest. Bowls Carrion Knight. So this guy's basically just a giant with a staff. One of the ones in another jail. Pretty underwhelming. He's just, you know, once you've been up the top of Stormvale and you've been up on the hill and you've killed a bunch of giants, he's basically just that. Like, you fight the Troll Digger Knight and all them, and they're just kind of the same. So I don't think it's trash. I think it's fine, but like, I'm not raving about it, so I'm gonna put it in D tier. Commander O'Neill. He is the man in the rot place, and he summons all of those fucking archers. He's the one that possesses the golden needle that you need for the quest for, what's her face? Millicent? I can't even remember his moves. I think he's got a similar moveset to Commander... Where do we put him? Nile? Yeah, his summons aren't that bad because they're much weaker. They're not as tanky as Commander Nile's. His move's not that memorable, to be honest. I know he does like the big spinny one. He does he do rot? Because I know he's in Caelid. He's in like a swampy place. I can't really remember his moves that much. I think he's probably on the same. He does do rot. Yeah, honestly, for me, not that crazy memorable. Not that cool of a fight. You also don't get his gear. You don't get his set. You get his weapon. Or you get like a... You get the needle, and then you get his, like... He has like a big halberd, right? Not that crazy for me. Oh, fucking Crucible Knight. Alright, Crucible Knight. Oh, Crucible Knight. Yeah, he is the boss that makes you realize Caelid's a bit later, for sure. If you stumble upon him too early, he'll definitely put you in your place. Okay, so Crucible Knight. Crucible Knight is tough. Like, I think everyone can agree that Crucible Knight is one of the hardest things in the game. They're just immune to everything. It's so crazy. But yeah, we learned that you can parry them. So they can be finessed if you want to go that route, I suppose. Crucible Knight's pretty incredible. It's the moveset's crazy. The aggression is nuts. The reach as well. Like I was watching someone fight them yesterday, and like the thrust on their forward attack is insane. Because he can be parried. He's air. Yeah. Yeah, the spear one, you fight that in the capital, right? The spear one. Also, you run into this guy everywhere. And that's my favorite memory fighting. This wasn't like a Crucible Knight boss, but the one where you fight in Crumbling Azula on that freaking platform. And I learned that they can jump. Like, I like traversed over a platform, and I was like, oh cool, I'm safe over here, maybe they'll fall off. And then he just like yeets over to me and jumped on me. I was like, alrighty, smart AI, cool. I don't know if it's S tier for me. I think it's definitely A tier. He does like to jump off there. Probably if I finagled it in the, like if I was like maybe right on the edge, I could maybe get him to fall off. I think Crucible Knight's A tier. I feel like it's better than Bloodhound though, and Black Knife, and because you fight Crucible Knight in so many arenas. Like if you go to the Redmane Castle too early and you go to the festival too early, you fight a Crucible Knight and a Misbegotten Warrior in like a duo fight. You also fight a duo Crucible Knight. You also fight a Crucible Knight in one of the jails. Like they're just everywhere. So I think, I don't know if that makes them better or worse because you fight them in multiple places. They're also just like random enemies around the place too. So I think for me, I'm going to leave it at A tier because S tier for me is going to be like Malenia. And like Malenia vs Crucible Knight, no competition. So there has to be a distinction between like amazing and like really good. So yeah, I'm going to leave S tier to like the cream of the crop. Because like if I had a choice between going into a room and fighting Fire Giant or in a room to fight Crucible Knight, I'm going to probably go for Fire Giant. I think Fire Giant's S tier, but we'll get to that. Crystalians. They are... they probably like... They seem scarier than they are when you first fight them because it appears when you first start whacking them that they are harder than they are. And then they like shatter and then they're just pathetic. So I think Crystalians, that particular fight where they are now, that's the one in the sorcery town, isn't it? Because that's the fog wall that opens up and then you get like the staff in there. So yeah, this one, I mean, you walk in and you're like, oh shit, a duo fight, but then you're like, oh, they're actually pathetic. So yeah, I think they also belong down here in the D tier. I didn't think it was that neat of a fight. The arena was kind of meh. They're like not that cool looking and their moves are really predictable. So I don't know. I feel like they're whatever. Yeah, I remember seeing, the first time I fought them was in one of the caves, in one of the dungeons or whatever. And I walked in and I was like, oh my God, this is going to destroy me. And then I just whacked them a few times and they shattered. And I was like, oh, right. Gotcha. This one's not really a boss. Decaying Exykes. This is the dragon that doesn't move, right? This is just the big dragon that you whack 100 times and it dies. No? Is this the rot one? Oh, here's the rot dragon in Kaled. Yeah, okay. You're gonna stay in the C tier with the other dragons. It's just whatever. It's a rot dragon. It's in Kaled. It's whatever. It's I feel like this one's kind of cooler though, to be honest. I just hate rot. Rot's so annoying, and there's like so little immunity. Like you can have immunity, but it really doesn't do that much, and you don't get many boluses against rot, and it's just like a whole thing. If you're a mage, it's cool because you can have, I know there's an incantation called Flame Cleanse Me that gets rid of rot, which is cool. But if you're not, like if you can't do incantations, it's like, cool, how the fuck am I meant to deal with rot? He does look cool though, like the rotting of his body is pretty neat. I think it can stay, it's fine on that one. Demi-Human Queen Morgot and Maggie. Is this a duel fight? This boss, when I got to it, I know that there's a couple of these. I don't know if there's a double fight. I know that there's one in like there's one in a kind of like a churchy area where there's all of the little demi-humans, and then there's like the big queen. And once you kill the queen, they all perish. It's pretty underwhelming. Same with the one in the cave. Like, I don't know if I just got to it way too late, but I remember just walking in and like 4-shotting it. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, if F tier is, we're gonna think of F tier as like, wouldn't care if they weren't in the game. And honestly, I would not miss Demi-Human Queen. Sorry, it was just really meh. Like, looks kind of cool, I suppose, but I don't know. It was kind of shit. Their moves weren't that tricky. Like, you just sit under them and it was whatever. So yeah, I don't really rate that one too much. Demi-Human Sheep. This was the double ones in the caves near the beach. Again, meh. It's probably not an F tier. It's a little more like the experience of finding the boss fight's kind of cool because you're going, it's probably one of the first caves that you end up going in. So you're chilling on the beach, you go through the cave. You got to think of like the exploration portion of how we're rating these as well, like the how you find them. So you go in the cave, it's all dark, you come in, the arena's really beautiful. It's got like that really nice waterfall kind of thing, and it's got like the other ones kind of around the corner, which is a little bit of a surprise. Although I think when you walk in, you see both health bars, so you kind of know there's two of them. But it's probably not the worst. It's definitely not an F tier, but I think it's probably a D tier. It's not as good as these ones. It's not as bad as that. So it's about there. Hey Nate, welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome to the tier list. We are rating all of these bosses in Elden Ring. I'm just realizing now how long it's probably going to take, but we're in for the ride. Next up is Divine Bridge Golem. So this is the bridge golems when you go and do the what's it called? The Great Runes. I mean, again, it's not really a boss. It's kind of a mini boss. It's like a big enemy, which you encounter these guys all the time. They're kind of a bit of a gimmick fight, in my opinion, because you just smack them in the ankles a few times and they fall down. Then you can parry, or you can like riposte them in the chest or give a critical hit. Yeah, I don't think they're as epic as like a dragon. So I'm gonna pop them. Data's getting freaking full. Holy crap. It's getting full. They're a cool enemy. Like they're visually, they definitely look a lot scarier than they are, because as soon as you smack them a few times, like whatever. He's a boss in one dungeon. Okay. I don't think I must have missed a few dungeons and stuff. Dragonkin Soldier. Oh yes, so this is under the ground in Noxstella. I don't know if this guy, again, I don't know if I got this, I don't know if I got to this late, but this was kind of like a really easy boss. It was like really the blue lightning phase. Did I get to that? There's two of these guys, right? There's one in Siofra, and then there's one in Noxstella. There's two different ones, right? Do they have the same moves? I know that this is the one at the foot of the big chair thing, right? There's a Rot Lake one as well. Yeah, okay. I think I did get to this quite late, because I either first tried it or second tried it, so it wasn't a big roadblock, I know that much. But that was kind of how the game went, apart from like the big hitters like Ratagon and Millennia and stuff like that. A lot of them were like, you know, two to five tries, not always first try, but it's pretty cool. Like the design of the boss was cool. The arena for this one, if this is the one that was at the foot of like that huge chair thing with the big skeleton thing on it, like sick arena, music was cool boss design. Wasn't that hard, but I think that may have been because I got to it when I did, so like it wasn't that crazy. When I look at these other ones, I think it's definitely an A or a B. It's not an S tier. It's pretty freaking cool. I think it probably lives in the B tier for me. Yeah, I don't think I saw the full phase of it because I did just walk in and kind of destroy it. So yeah, I guess that could probably influence my decision. But when I look at like Elema's a really cool fight. Blackbeard's cool. I think it's on par with those ones. I think that's fair. Erdtree avatars. We fight a lot of Erdtree avatars in this game. Their moves are pretty much exactly the same. It's just whatever effect they have that's different. Some of them have rot. They all do that like gold move, which you do get from their weapon. They're probably they're not as a, I don't know if they're more or less annoying than dragons. I feel like they're never a surprise because you always come up to them, you know, you come up to the base of the trees where you know there's probably going to be something like you're going to get a shard. Oh, they do give you crystal tier things for your wondrous physics, so that's a plus for them. Dragons give you dragon hearts, which if you're a mage and you want to do like dragon spells, then that's cool. But for my run, that was pointless. So every dragon, I'm like, I don't even need this. Like, why? So these guys do give you the tiers, right? Like some of them, oh, they're just auto looted. So it's not actually the boss giving them to you. Howdy, rooters and hates of meat. Right. Some you pick up, most are drops. Okay. So, I mean, at least they give you a valuable item because some of those are pretty important to the run. Like if you want to make sure you get the bubble tier, or you want the one for your magic to do like that crazy, what is it? The Comet Azur. You need to kill one of these to get that. So I think they're probably on par with dragons. They're not the best. You got to fight a lot of them, but I don't know. I don't think I ever got annoyed at having to fight them. I kind of, you know to expect them. You know that you're going to get something out of it. They're not that hard, except for the one that splits into two in the bloody snowy place. That was bullshit. I was not happy with that. I still kicked his butt, but I was like, you're fucking kidding me. It splits in two. That was probably the best one. It was like definitely the hardest and kind of annoying. I think they belong in the C tier. Erdtree Burial Watchdog. The cats. I don't know why they're called watchdogs because they're quite clearly a cat. These things are friggin' weird. I think they're very different. And I think for that reason, they're probably rated higher than you would expect. Yeah, the movement is so mechanical. It's not what you normally expect from a FromSoft game or from a FromSoft boss. And I think that makes it unique and interesting. The way it moves is so whack. It's really hard to figure out the timing. Like, I fought a few of these before I really like nailed the timing. They like zoom up in the air and kind of pause there. They're like the king of pauses. And there's a couple variations of them too. I don't know if they're all going to be in here, if it's going to be like, this is it. So there's like that one, and then there's a magic one too, right? And then there's 3 different variations of these, I think. And I did find it wasn't until my second playthrough that I saw like a different move that I hadn't seen before. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something with the tail. And I was like, where the hell did this move come from? So they've actually got like a crazy move set that you may not always see all the moves. The one where they like get up on their hind legs and then do like the chop is just fucking nightmare fuel. And I really love that. It kind of gives me Bloodborne-y vibes because it has that really like macabre, dark, kind of twisted design, which I really like. So even though they're kind of easy, the arenas are almost always the same dungeons. And it's funny that they're called a watchdog and not a cat. There's something about this boss that I really like. So I think it's gonna go in 8 tier. Not that I didn't really know where I was gonna put that, because that was one that came to my mind today. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it. It's just kind of funny and unique. And I think that's something that really, when you think of all the bosses in the game, when I was thinking about this tier list, even like the burial watchdog is one that came to my mind like straight away. So I think that means it's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet. It was George. If anything's just whack, you just blame George. Eskar, Priest of Blood. This guy, I don't even really remember, to be honest. Was he in a jail? Who? It's much like Battle Mage. Who? Eskar, Priest of Blood. Don't remember this boss at all. So you're gonna go down in there with Battle Mage because I don't know who you are. Falling Star Beast. Fucking hate it. Hate it. Hate it, but respect it. He's in the catacombs in the sewer. Don't remember him. I mean, I guess if he's that, I feel like y'all should be down here then, because I literally don't remember you. So like, if you weren't in the game, I wouldn't notice. He gives a sick talisman. If I'd known that and if I'd remembered that, I probably would have rated him higher, but because I have no recollection, you're F tier, sorry. Okay, Falling Star Beast. So you fight this, I think there's 2 in this list because I did see adult Falling Star Beast somewhere. So this is the fully grown one, I assume, or maybe the baby one, I don't know. Falling Star Beast. It's a hard one to rate because it was so annoying. And I mean, it is completely optional. There's 3 of them. There's one that you get teleported to from that mean teleport chest, and that made me so angry. That's not this one though, I don't think. There's one in the capital at the little like hole in the ground. And then there's one just before Volcano Manor. Full grown is specifically. Yeah, okay. So this is the one down in the catacomb thingo, and the one in the capital. It's got an interesting moveset, and it's like, it's quite an epic looking fight. They're just like loot drops for upgrades. Yeah, I don't know. I like the design of this boss. It's hard because it doesn't take like physical damage. It also drops like, it does the gravity magic against you. It's pretty epic to look at, like when you're in the fight. I think most people probably attack it on horseback. I think I did at least. It's a pretty cool fight because it's very maneuverable. It yeets across the map. It does a cool gravity magic. I don't think I'd rank it as high as like B. I think I'd probably put it in C. It's not bad, but it's like, I don't know. It's fine, but it's not as cool as these ones. So I think it's a C tier for me. The Fell Twins. The Fell Twins were a neat idea, but I feel like everyone, by the time you get to that point in the game, they should have made them harder. Why were they so easy? I killed one before the second one even got to me. Like, is it not meant to be this hard fight where they're both like wailing on you? They just like, they were kind of pathetic. I liked the intro. The intro was really cool. Like everything goes pitch black. It's very, what are the Four Kings? I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then you see the name tags come up and you're like, oh my God, it's a duel fight. Oh my God, it's going to be so hard. And then like, they just fall and they just died. I'm like, it was anticlimactic. So I don't know. They could have been, yeah, for sure. If they didn't have this cool intro, I feel like they may as well not even be in the game. But they did have a cool intro and it was a cool design. And did it give you, yeah, they're also in the sewers. I actually hadn't been in the sewers. So this was the first time I'd seen these enemies. So for me, it was kind of unique, but what do you get from them? You get, I can't remember. Is it the baby item? I don't know. It's fine. It's probably not as good as these. I think it's probably a D for me. So this Dragon King Soldier, this is the one in Sea Offer, right? So this one I bullied even harder because I found it so late. This one didn't have the cool arena. It was just an open waterfall. There was the waterfall next to it is where Marika's seal was. I don't think it's as cool as that one. I know it's similar, but the arena's not as cool. It's a lot weaker. So I think it's probably a C. The arena is really what like catapulted this up into the B tier. Also didn't have the cool second phase. Yeah. Fell Twins give you Omen Killer, roll those ashes. Yeah, okay. Yep. Gotcha. Nice. Okay. Next we have Dragon Lord. I don't know how to say these. Placidus sucks. Placidus sucks. Yeah, that fucking rules. I loved it. This is a dual-headed one, right? Yes, this is the one in whatchamacallit? This is the one in Crumbing Azula when you lay in the coffin thing and then you get teleported back in time. That's this boss, right? The three-headed one, but one's cut off. Yeah. Cool fight. Sick arena. Fucking sick music. Sick moves. It's the classic, like, contrary to all the other dragons in this game, it actually has a different moveset, which is great. Fight at its prime would be insane. Yeah, it's kind of got everything going for it. It's really fucking cool. And it's different to the other dragons. And it's that, you know, you're this tiny little person and this is that huge epic thing, and getting that satisfaction of beating it is very high with that one. Honestly, I'm kind of same with Elden Beast. I know not a lot of people like Elden Beast. I know that it has a couple bullshit moves when it shoots the starry things at you endlessly. It's fucking annoying. It's really hard to dodge. But, the arena, the music, its moveset, like it flies up in the air and does the rings and everything. Like everything about it is just like, I just didn't want it to end. It was really fucking cool. Yeah, I know. I think this is probably going to be a really polarizing one for people. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. I thought Elden Beast was great. I was satisfied with that as the final boss, to be honest. I feel like it maybe could have been a little harder because C tier, S tier presentation, F tier for mechanics. I don't know. I was satisfied with it. I feel like it could have been harder. Maybe it's an A tier. I just love the music and the arena and everything. And because you're coming up to the end of the game, I just feel like it was so freaking emotional. It's not as good as Ratagon. Yeah, true. That's true. Ratagon's portion is like way better. And I I fought Ratagon like 40 times, I feel like. And I second tried Elden Beast. Like by the time I got through Ratagon and got to Elden Beast, I beat Elden Beast on my second try. So like maybe that's not... I do wish it was harder. So I guess it's not perfect. I guess this is perfect. It's not quite perfect, but it's definitely up there. I think I've just got rose tinted glasses as well because it was the last boss. Make Ratagon turn back into America and a new moveset. That would be really cool. I did feel like the Elder Beast was a bit random. Like going from Ratagon to that, I was kind of like, I don't know why this is a thing, but it is a thing, so I'm just gonna do it. But I don't know. I liked it. I know it's not for everybody, but I think the arena for me really sold it. Thinking that it's on the same level as Erdtree Burial Watchdog's kind of ridiculous. But I think it's not perfect. It's not amazing. It's definitely not bad. I think it lives in A tier. Fierce Champion, pretty rubbish. Yeah, it is a bit odd. Fierce Champions, it was just a few people getting summoned. I don't really think it was that impressive. I'm assuming that's not including the other dragon, right? No, because that's once you go in. Yeah, it was just an invasion. It was like nothing crazy. I don't think it was so bad that it shouldn't have been in the game. I think it was fine being there because it kind of made sense. But I don't think it was like groundbreaking or anything. Fire Giant, S tier. Absolutely. Love the arena. His moves are amazing. The design of the boss is so fucking cool. His torso is a face. Like, it's so sick. He's all hairy. He's got these shackles and shit. Like, he's just a fucking cool looking boss. Crazy moveset. Like, covers so much ground. Love Fire Giant. Thought that was really, really, really cool. No, like, I don't even really need to explain. I don't think. I think most people probably agree that Fire Giant's definitely up there with one of the best. Also gives you... only downside... the cinematic was insane too, yeah. If you inflict a status effect before he changes to phase 2, he'll just die, which we learned. So there is a little bug involved with him, which is a little annoying. That's probably the only thing I can say that's not good about it. They did fix it. Excellent. Damn it. Just in time for me to get fucked by it. Perfect. Really? That's so annoying. But yeah, the cinematic, like the visual of him like chopping his freaking leg off and shit. It was eating it. Just like epic. So yeah, Fire Giant, S tier. 100%. Full grown Falling Star Beast. Yeah, gonna go in the same tier as regular. Yeah, it was whatever. It was fine. Glinstein Dragon. This dragon was kind of important because of the story and stuff. You had to, well, not so story, but to get the key to the academy, you had to go fight this dragon. So like it had a purpose, whereas a few of the other ones just felt like they were just there to fill a void. Whereas this dragon actually was protecting something and something quite meaningful. So I feel like this dragon was actually kind of fun. I liked the arena because it was that like cool open lake and had all the little, if you were a mage, it would have been a good one to fight because it had all those little like blue scarabs there. Having said that, I don't think it's on par with the B tiers. Like I still think it's C tier. I think it's like a higher C tier. I need like a C tier 1.1, C tier 1 and C tier 2. I still think it's a C tier. But this one had a bit more purpose. So you have that going for you. I still think Agil's the best one because it was the first one and it was just such a cool moment. Godfrey the Gifted. Basically just a shitter version of Godric. Didn't really need you. You can be in the D tier. Godfrey the first Elden Lord. So wait, does it have? So this is phase 1 and 2? Oh, that's S tier. Dude, his second phase, Horaloo, holy fuck. So cool. So primal. Like the fact that he just yeets his weapon away and turns into this like buff as hell, like MMA dude is terrifying. Like a boss coming at you with no weapon is so discerning. So loved Godfrey. Thought it was great. I thought his first phase was like, because when I fought him the first time, I think I got through his first phase like in one of the first couple of tries. And then Horaloo just comes in and just fucks your day. Love that fight. It was really unexpected too. Like I did not see that coming. Like he seems like this really regal. Yeah, totally. Like you don't expect it at all. Like he's this big fancy king or Elden Lord or whatever. And then he just turns into this like bestial man. It's so strange. I loved it. The lion definitely was just like a red herring. It's like the lion has nothing. The lion spirit keeps his bloodlust at bay. So when he eats the lion or kills it or whatever he does to it, it's like him just accepting his bloodthirst. That's really cool. That makes him even cooler. So yeah, he definitely belongs in the S tier, no doubt. Godric the Grafted. How do I feel about Godric? It's a pretty cool fight. The cinematic's kind of cool. Like him chopping his arm off and then attaching a dragon and spurting fire everywhere. I like Godric. He actually gave me a fair bit of trouble. I know he's not considered a very hard boss, but I think I went from Morgot and kind of quickly rushed over to his area. I think I probably fought him a little too early because I was getting kind of pummeled by him for a little bit there. And I did like his axe, sorry. I took his axe and used his axe for a long time. So I don't think he's an A. He's not an S tier. I think he's an A tier for me. I like his character design. He's the worst rune bearer, but he has the best great rune. So it's like he has a cool weapon. His great rune's the best one in the game, which is kind of anticlimactic because you get it first. His moves can be annoying, but I don't know. It's once you know how to fight him, I feel like it's quite a fun fight to just dodge and roll around him because he's so maneuverable. Like he does those flips and he's got all these limbs flying around. And I actually didn't even notice for the first time I fought him. I think it wasn't until I summoned that I was like, oh my God, his arm's holding two of the axes. I didn't even notice. Like, I just think it's a really cool design. And the whole grafted thing's pretty nightmarish. And his cinematic of him chopping into the arm off is kind of hilarious. So I like Godric. Godskin Apostles. This is Skinny Boy up in the Midsummer town. Yeah, the level, totally, for sure. Godskin Apostle. The music, yeah. The music is the best in the game. But I cannot put Godskin Noble in S tier. I cannot. I hate Godskin Noble. Godskin Apostle, really cool area. Like that whole windmill village with all the women dancing maniacally. Love that area. Love discovering it. It was definitely Midsummer. I can safely say that I would probably put Godskin Apostle in. I don't know if it could be. Yeah, no, Noble's definitely not an S tier. I don't know. I feel like Apostle's an A tier. I don't think it's as epic as these. Like, it was cool, and the suit's cool, and the music's great, but it's not an S tier. It's not like. It's when I'm thinking like the best fights in the game. I don't think Godskin Apostle. I don't think any of the Godskins. Very cool. Stretchy phase, hilarious. You fight him in two spots too. You fight him in that, you fight him in Radahn's tower down the bottom, and you fight him in that place. You like fighting him in the Divine Tower first? How come? What is your reasoning behind that? Yeah, the stretchy phase is cool. His weapon's sick. His skin's crazy. Like the design of the enemy is so fucking cool, man. The skin suit is wild. The music is very good. I don't think it's S. I don't think I put it in S. Goskin Duo. The fucked up thing is like the Noble fight's actually really good. Yeah, I suppose it would make more sense that location with the music for sure. Goskin Duo. Okay, where am I putting Goskin Duo? Shit. I think it's B. I liked the single ones better. It was just, I don't know. It felt because you've yeah, I don't think it's bad. When you get to that point in the game, so it's in Crumbling from Azula. When you get to that point, you've fought these guys quite a number of times. So it's like, there's no big surprise. You thought F tier. There's no big shock. I think the shock is seeing 2 of them. But it's also weird because there's not just 2 of them. They keep summoning them. Which is kind of horseshit. But the music rules. The arena's pretty cool. It does have those destructible little like towers in it. It's not as bad as these. It's not as good as single though. I think it's B. And then Goskin Noble. I'm so torn because this fight annoys the shit out of me. It made me so angry. But that church is beautiful. The music's amazing. His moves are hilarious. Like, fuck. I think it's actually a really good fight, which makes me mad because I hated it. Like, parts of me hated it, but I think it's just a really good fight because it's hard. It's kind of unfair though. I feel like the roll is a bit bullshit. But I feel like it's on par with Postle. I don't know. It's funny. He hits you with his belly. He's got this crazy thrusting weapon. Like, it does annoy me though that like, I guess it's probably fair, but like he can get you through the walls and stuff, which is a bit annoying. But the church is just so beautiful. And his design's crazy. So I think it has to be with A. I think it has to be with the Godskin Apostle. The Grafted Scions, this is from the very, very start of the game, which is like, you can beat it. I've never managed to beat it. It's a scripted death. Like, if you beat the Scion, you do have to die as well. So, technically, I actually learned that you don't die from the Grafted Scion at the start of the game. If you look at your HP, you actually have like 1 health. And you don't go, you don't actually get like a you died screen. So technically you don't die. It's like you kind of faint, kind of like Pokemon, I suppose. I don't know. It's like an unwinnable fight. I know you can do it, but like for the average player, you definitely can't. And you don't really get to see it for very long because it kind of just shits on you. Don't give bosses shields. Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. I don't like that either. I mean, but having said that, Crucible Knight has a shield, and we love Crucible Knight. And Fire Giant has a shield technically too, but he doesn't use it to block. He uses it to whack you with. I don't think Grafted Scion's that good. I mean, you do fight it a few other times as well, and it's just really not that. It's not that whelming. I'm gonna put it in. I feel like it belongs in D tier. I don't know. I guess it's like, if we're thinking of like, it depends if we're talking just the start of the game, because it does kind of set the tone, and the way that it comes in, like the arena is really cool. The music kicks in, you know you're playing a song like a FromSoft, and it kicks your butt. It is a cool intro into the game. It's a hard one. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can go back for revenge later. That does make it better, doesn't it? if it's as good as these guys, though. These guys are pretty solid. I think it's a C. Yeah. I think it's a C. All right. Grave Warden Julius. This is a bit of meh. He's in dungeons. He's at the foot of the big, like, Colosseum thing in the capital. It's fine. I don't know. It's not that noteworthy. It's just to do with axes. I feel like it's probably a D tier, to be honest. It's not that crazy. It's not that unique. I do like his reveal. Yeah, he does like flip his cape off and do this cool reveal, and he has like a rage. He has like the what's it called? The roar thing. But I mean, when you look at all the other bosses, if we have to rank them, I would say it's pretty low on the list. It's nothing that imaginative or impressive, and he's kind of a pushover once you know his moves. So yeah, literally. So yeah, I think D tier. Is there actually a boss that's Kindred of Rot? If so, I didn't fight it, but I fucking hate this enemy. It is so annoying. It must be a boss somewhere. I don't know. I hate these enemies. They're so fucking annoying. There's a duo one. Maybe I did do that. That does ring a bell, actually. Is it... Where is it? Is it one of the churches? I hate bugs. I hate this thing. Yeah, those... Is that what it's called? Pest threads? That move is such horseshit. It's so hard to dodge. There is the tiniest window to dodge that move. I hate it so much. And I have a particular disdain for this enemy because you get teleported to it early on from that chest. And there's fucking heaps of them in there. I fucking hate these enemies. I don't think they shouldn't be in the game because it's a hard game. There should be hard enemies and there should be enemies that you despise. So I think for that reason, they're probably a good one. But I feel like you deserve D. I don't like you. Misbegotten is honestly pretty shit. I'm gonna put you in the D tier. Its moves are real predictable. It is hard when you put it with Crucible Knight, but I feel like they needed to make it harder because I feel like everyone that's gotten to it, because it's in Castle Morn, the arena's pretty cool. Like it feels like there's a fight from Dark Souls 2 where you approach it from the water side like that. It's reminiscent of that, but it's just too easy and the moves are meh, really predictable. It's pretty aggressive, but it does drop that what's it called? It drops the bloody Game of Thrones weapon too with all the swords, which is kind of cool, I suppose. It's actually got really good skill on it, but I don't know. Misbegotten doesn't really. Oh god, the Cos speech, instant F tier. Nah, I think I don't think it's not as good as like Nile or the Dragons or the Dragon King. I don't think it belongs in C with those. I think it belongs in D. When we look at like the ranks and putting in perspective where the other things lie, I think it belongs in D. Yeah, it's just like, it's not, there's nothing about it that's super unique or impressive or memorable. So I think it's just kind of, it's fine. Lich Dragon Fortisax. I don't think it's as good as Dragon Lord. I do like it a lot though. The lightning attack's really neat. Is it as good as these three though? I think it's an A. I don't think it's as good as Dragon Lord and Fire Giant and stuff. I'm going to be very, very, very picky about S tier. I do like the way that you like discover this boss. That part of it's cool. The arena's cool. The music's sick. The moveset's really cool. But I think I first tried it. I feel like it could be harder. If I didn't first try it, I second tried it for sure. A little bit on the weak side. I mean, I also first tried Dragon Lord. Which everyone was like, how the fuck? You're cracked. But I think I was just way overpowered at that point. Well, this dragon could be harder. So could Dragon Lord. But yeah, I think if this was a bit harder, I think it'd be up there. Lion Guardian. Is it a boss? I think it's just a mini boss. It's actually a really cool design. I would actually rate this higher than Misbegotten for sure. I think they're really fucking sick. They're really aggressive. They have swords on their arms, which is really unsettling, seeing like this lion that has crazy agility, crazy movement, just like their hair's flowing in the wind. It's a really, or mane or whatever it's called. They're a really cool design. I like them a lot. I don't really know if there's like a boss one. I'm trying to picture them. I know that you fight one outside of the towers and stuff, like in the Stormvale Castle. They're kind of everywhere, but I'm never mad at seeing them. I'm always like, and they're like a scary enemy. You see them and you're like, oh fuck, like this is gonna fuck me up. So I think they're a good enemy. I don't think they're as high as like B, but I definitely think they're a C. Loretta, Knight of the Helic Tree. Okay, so this is not the ghosty version. The arena for this fight is fucking massive. Like, why is it such a huge arena? Oh my god, a spirit summon of those would be amazing. This was a cool fight. Her second phase, when she dials up the spells a notch, is pretty hectic. I mean, again, at this point in the game, it's pretty late on and you're pretty overpowered anyway, so it wasn't overly difficult. I did like this one more than the ghosty one. I liked that she was like a physical being this time, and the moves were really cool and the music was sick, and her set is gorgeous as well. I love the armor you get from this. So I think I'd probably pop it in B tier. I don't think it's quite as cool as these bosses, but I think it's definitely like, I really like Elema. I feel like B tier is actually, it's not a diss putting them in B. B is still like really high. Pumpkinhead. So you fight Pumpkinhead pretty early. He's over by the big flower underground. It's a really tiny arena. Early on, it's pretty scary. He's got like a flail thing, but I don't know. Once you know how to fight him, it's pretty gimmicky. Not gimmicky, but it's kind of pathetic, to be honest. Yeah, cool enemy. Not certain that it's a great boss. Does drop the helmet, I think. Maybe. I don't remember getting it. Maybe it's a chance to get the helmet. It's pretty cool, but yeah, I think I agree. I don't think it didn't need to be a boss. So I feel like C is even too high. I feel like D, to be honest. The Mimic tier. This is a hard one to rate. Mimic tier. So, Mimic is F tier because your build is trash. Rude. I think the discovery of this is a really interesting fight actually, because you come up to it, right? You're in this beautiful underground place. There's this giant arena in front of you with this crazy like big epic door, and you walk in and it's like, hello, is something gonna jump out at me? And then you just see like this sludge take form and turn into you, and you're kind of like, oh my fucking god. Like, I was really lucky that no one ruined it for me. I'm really glad I got to experience this in its full, and I think it's a fun experience. And then you soon also learn that you like get it, right? So I actually rate the Mimic tier quite high. It's a really easy fight. So it's not, I don't know, it's not overly challenging. I don't even remember what the music was like. So it's like it's not a standout, but it's not like, if we were rating it on difficulty, it'd be F. Like, it was so stupid. It was so weak. But I just think it was funny. I don't even know if there was music. Yeah, I actually can't remember. So I don't even know if it's C. I feel like it might be D, to be honest. It's just like, I don't know. I'm just praising it now. I'm like, it's actually D. It's a fun experience, but I don't know what they could have done to make it better. Maybe like lots of you. Maybe they summoned like 10 of you. That would have been kind of insane. I don't know. It was a little bit too weak for my likings. It was kind of just a pushover. I don't remember if there was music. The entrance was really epic. The arena itself was kind of whatever. Yeah, I think D as well. It needed to be smarter. It was too easy. Miranda the Blighted Bloom. Again, not really. I think there is one that is a boss. I hate these fucking flowers. They're so stupid. They're really annoying. The moves were like nothing. I feel like I wouldn't miss. They're kind of like a cool design, but I don't really get it. Hey Tato, welcome in. It's like a D or an F for me, I think. I feel like it might actually be an F too. Yeah, it's only a few more. It's not too bad. We're getting there. It's like they made the caves and realized they ran out of bosses. Yeah, I think you just encounter this so much that by the time you get to it as a boss, it's like, I don't even care. Like, I know how to kill you. So yeah, I don't think it needed to be in there as a boss. Okay, so there's 2 Moogs. Okay. I don't know if I can't really. I did fight this. It was just like a weakened version of Moog, wasn't it? Was it just his first phase? He didn't do the Nile thing, did he? So I think that was he didn't have second phase. I don't think. This was in one of the cave things. Arena was pretty tiny. I did fight this one first, so it wasn't as crazy because like people were like, oh, now you have to go fight the other one. So like I knew it was coming. Wasn't that crazy of a discovery, I suppose. Still like a sick fight though. I think it's probably, yeah, I'd say it's on par with like that. And then Lord of Blood, S tier, no doubt. Loved it. Fucking crazy. Everything about that fight was so fucking cool. You didn't like Moog? Mate, I love Moog. It was such a good fight. I was so satisfied when I finally beat it. I loved it. Oh my god, I was gonna say, you're fucking insane. Yeah, definite S tier for me. Great fight. So fucking cool. That was Rykard. That's probably coming up. I think it's here. It's okay. Yeah, like, oh, the entrance to the second phase, like when he's cursing you, when you first learn of that, and you're like, how am I meant to stop that? Like he does this curse thing, he curses you 3 times, and then when he enters into second phase, he does that and chunks you 3 times. You have to use 2 heals to like out heal him or do the damage or whatever. And like that just completely threw me and like puts you into a frenzy. So yeah, I love that fight. I think it was really solid. Magma Worm, I didn't like very much. Lava stuff's annoying. It just like staggers you. I think it was fine being in the game, but I don't think it was good. It was D tier for me. I didn't like it. Yeah, the zombie lava moves, stupid. It also does that. It like turns its head and spews lava on you no matter where you're standing. It's kind of bullshit. Not a fan of Magma Worm. Without question, Melania is number one. Like she's the best fight in the game. Absolutely loved Melania. Felt really unfair going into it with the lifesteal, but over time you learn how to tackle it. She's amazing. I love Melania. Phase 2 was epic. The big cinematic reveal of her turning into like the rot princess of like a flower was fucking sick. Loved it. Loved everything about it. Malekith as well, S tier. The reveal of Imbalance. Yeah, that's just so fucking cool. I don't care how broken it is. Malekith, 100% S tier. I loved the reveal. I loved that. You think she should be harder? Jesus. I mean, maybe. If she's meant to be like the hardest boss in the game ever. Maybe. So, phase 1 of Malekith. the fact that you walk in and you see Garang, this person that you've interacted with, or this thing that you've interacted with the whole game, you're like, oh my god, it's you. And then he just turns into Malekith, and the design, the armor, the weapon, the freaking lifesteal, the arena, everything about this fight is S tier. Like second best in the game, in my opinion. Like fucking straight up. Amazing, amazing, amazing fight. Loved it. His armor definitely looks much better on him than it does on my character. But, oh man, so friggin' sick. Phase 1 is tricky. He's very, very aggressive. Phase 2 with the Black Blade or whatever it's called, like that shit is so rude though. Good lord. I think, yeah, I definitely think phase 1's not to be underestimated. It's definitely a tough phase for sure. Okay, Margit. I don't think Margit is an S tier. I think Margit's probably an A tier, just because it is like, it's pretty good, isn't it? Just thinking like it is the big barrier, which I think gives it a bit of rank, to be honest. It's kind of the first, oh shit, this game doesn't fuck about. He is quite easy to parry though. Very cool cinematic. I do appreciate the smack talk. He's definitely high. Maybe he is an S tier. He's definitely high. Oh, he's definitely higher than Godric. Yeah, he's an S tier. Compared to these, it's a fun fight. He's got a lot of moves. He's hard to read. Like, he's got so many different combos. And I think he's kind of pivotal to the game. So, yeah, I think he should be S. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's pretty great. Such a butthead. Morgot, on the other hand, I don't think Morgot is an S tier. I don't know. It felt a bit too easy because, like, he's supposed to be, like, you're at this point in the game, you're going up this giant staircase to this huge arena. The arena was really cool. His first move's kind of bullshit though. Like, the fact that you have to watch, I do love the cutscene though. The original, like the initial spear move is kind of annoying when you summon for people and they watch a 2.5 minute cutscene and then they get one-shotted by a spear. Yeah, I agree. I think he could have been harder. Like the fact that I could come in and pretty much, like, I didn't take that many tries on my second run and I'm way under leveled. So I feel like he could be harder. I feel like if Morgot was a little bit harder. I really did love his weapon though. Like the reveal of his weapon, to like crunching his staff and turning it into that sick, like oil coated looking blade was really cool. I think it's A. I don't think it's S. It's still a really cool fight though. Knight's Calvary. It's fine. It's nothing amazing. I think it's you see it a lot and it's not, I don't know, the moves are very like Tree Sentinel, which if I have to rate them against each other, I'm going to favor Tree Sentinel because it's kind of like the OG like horse character. Where's Tree Sentinel? There. Yeah, Knight's Calvary. I don't think it's as high as these. I think it's a D. Nox Duo. Design's cool, but it's not enough. Yeah. I did like discovering it at night though. Like that was one of the first, I think that might have been the first boss that I saw and was like, oh shit, there's things at nighttime too. That's terrifying. But even that, I don't think it's enough to make it like a super highly rated boss, in my opinion. Where even was Nox Duo? I don't even know. I know I fought it. It's in Caelid. I don't even remember. I do remember fighting them, but I can't envision where they were. Celia and Caelid. Oh, okay. Yep. Wait, are these the guys that you beat? Oh, I was thinking that was the crystal guys. I got that wrong when I raided the Crystalians. This is not the staircase in Celia? This is who you fight in Celia, right? And then there's a staff behind the fog wall. I got those two mixed up. Where do you fight these guys? Yeah, they're D. They kind of remind me of the gank squad from Bloodborne with the snakeheads, but not as cool. Patches. Okay. Yeah, I think they belong in the same. They're kind of like, when you get to a duo fight, you kind of expect it to kick your ass a little bit. And I feel like the duo fights were a little underwhelming in this game, apart from Godskin Duo, probably. It was either like the duo fights weren't hard enough, or the boss summoned a bunch of shitty enemies that were annoying as fuck. It was like no happy medium. Omen Killer. I don't think I fought this as a boss. I fought a few of these enemies in general, but it's just an enemy. It's not really, yeah. Patches. Well, we can't put him in the F tier because Patches has to exist in the game, even though we love to hate him and murder him. He is not an S tier. It's not really like a boss fight, to be fair. Like it's a story. It's a callback to the other games and Patches being a character, and he's not really like a boss because he's like a pushover. But you do get a lot of joy killing him. That is valid. That is valid. It is kind of it's like, it's unexpected because you walk into like a random cave and you see a little chest and you go to loot the chest and you're like, wait, what are you doing? And it's like, oh my God, it's Patches. So like that moment of like, oh, it's him is kind of sick. So I think, and then getting to murder him always feels nice. So I think it's a B. Yeah, exactly. The fact that I hate him so much is good design. So I think that's a worthy place for him up on the B tier. Onyx Lord? What is that? Who? Who? Who's this? I don't actually know which one this is. I don't know. Gravity stuff? Is he like... Oh, I think I know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is he the ones that you find him in a ditch with a bunch of like other little enemies and then he comes in? And also in the Rot Lake, the Lake of Rot. That guy? Yeah, he's pretty pathetic, to be honest. He looks scary. Like the way that he comes at you is, oh, he's in the cave as well. I remember him. Yeah. He comes at you with like so much machismo and bravado, and then he's just shit. So I was like, oh, yeah, he's D tier. Perfumer Trisha. They're the ones that throw the fire spell thing, or the fire dust. I mean, I'm not mad you're in the game, but like, I don't think you really matter that much. Putrid tree spirits. I do. Yeah, they are annoying. The tree spirits, I do appreciate that a lot of them give you a golden seed. I do feel like they're super fucking unpredictable. Like the way that they move is so strange. I find it a really awkward fight though, because half the time, like, you can't really lock onto it because it just yeets around all the time. Yeah, rot spam's annoying. It's not a good fight. I think it's a D tier. Yeah, every time I come across one, I'm like, oh, here we go again. So Ratagon, 100,000% S tier. No doubt. So punishing, especially as a bleed player. Motherfucker doesn't bleed. Such good music. Oh my God. Hearing just the music alone, like hearing that title music come in, you're just like, fuck off. Like every time I've loaded up the game, I've heard this music and here it is, like so epic in my ears with this epic boss fight. My God, the moves are so hard to read. Absolutely the king of delay attacks. Like, oh my God, this took me freaking ages. Love Ratagon. I definitely agree with you guys though. Like if this had in phase 2 had transformed into Marika or something, holy shit, that would have been cool as hell. Like even though I liked the Elden Beast, I felt like it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Whereas yeah, that would have been sick for Ratagon. I just loved everything about Ratagon. It was such a, and oh my God, the arena, like having edges on it like that, just being on like a floating platform. The cinematic at the start as well, amazing. Sick design, sick weapon, crazy moves, just oh my God, that's like everything you want in a boss fight. Also, the fact that we have this many in S tier just kind of highlights why Elden Ring's such an amazing game, because that's more bosses that are in, like, that's like how many bosses are in Sekiro. It's like, shit. Sekiro has like 12 bosses. This game has like 70. It's ridiculous. What is Scaly Misbegotten? What? Okay. Red Wolf of Ratagon. Pretty high. Not an S tier. I would say he's, I don't know, he kicked my butt on my boss rush one because I was pretty underpowered. The spell stuff gets a bit annoying. He does turn into like a normal enemy at some point, but I don't think it's an A. I think it's probably in a B tier. I wouldn't say it's A. I don't think it's as good as like, nah, it's not as good as Lich Dragon or Darrowil or Dragon. No. I think it's a B, I would say. It's definitely better than these. I liked the like run up to it was cool. And it's like, it's adorable. It's a freaking wolfie. It's a mage PvP, yeah. He's not, I don't know. I found it like, it wasn't, I didn't first try it. So it wasn't like a complete pushover. So I don't think I can penalize it for being too easy. It wasn't too hard. I think it's a B. It's a good boy. Rykard for me is an S tier, sorry. I know that it's like a bit of a gimmick fight with the snake thing. But oh my God, the design of this boss and the pageantry of entering this arena with this huge serpent in front of you. The music was amazing. Its moves were like crazy. And then once you learned how to use that freaking spear, it was super satisfying. Like the L2 down and then the hit like up was insane. So much better than Yorm, in my opinion. Cutscene in between. Best cutscene in the game. Loved it. Such a visceral boss and like very Bloodborne as well, which I love. Love Rykard. Such a cool fight. And also just the stuff afterwards as well, once you beat him with the woman like eating his corpse and all that shit. Like that was just, it was just fucking time. So yeah, Rykard was definitely up there with one of my favorites. Also the one that I've summoned for by far the most, which I loved. And it was so unassuming because like you're fighting this whole volcano manor thing and then all of a sudden you're in this tiny little cave and you're like, the hell? Going through the fog wall and that whole place opening up with all the chandeliers and just everything. Oh my God, so sick. Love Rykard. So fucking cool. I literally do not remember Scaly Misbegotten. I don't know what that is, but if it's anything like the other one, it's going next to this one. I don't even know who you are. It's the mobs with the great axe. Oh, yeah, okay. Sir Gideon was so underwhelming. What in the world? He's meant to be the all-knowing. Why was he so shit? What in the hell? What was this? This fight annoyed me so much because you're like, oh my God, he's throwing all these moves at me from everyone in the game. And he knows everything and he's all knowing and he's all powerful and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I just walked in and just smacked him and he was dead. I'm like, what the fuck? So disappointing. It should have been so much harder. It was, oh man, I don't understand why they made him so shit. I feel like if he was harder and he was like dropping lore bombs while fighting you and just like not even giving a shit that you're there fighting him, would have been cooler. But like, it was so underwhelming. He has a move that retaliates if you hit him too many times in a short span and he one-shots you. Shit, that's kind of cool. I don't know. It just left such a like sour taste in my mouth because I was like, that was it. Like, it's kind of like Bell Twins and stuff, right? Like you have this big entrance and then it's like, oh, you're just bad. Like, it's kind of underwhelming. I think it's a C. I don't think it's as bad as a D because these are like pretty meh, but I think it's probably up in C. Soldier of Godric, it's a tutorial boss. I'm gonna not put it in F because yeah, hey Daisy. Okay, I'm not gonna put a Soldier of Godric in the F tier because for the sole reason that I think for anyone who's brand new, it gave you... Voice acting was very good. It gave you like... It should have been harder for sure. Like I feel like even for new players, you just walk in and smack him like 4 times and he's dead. But for new players, it kind of gave you a taste of walking through the fog wall. There's an enemy to attack. Here's how to guard counter. He's probably not going to kill you. Which, I don't know. I feel like it definitely should have been dialed up a little bit. But it's not an F tier because it had to be in there somewhere. So yeah, it didn't need to not be in the game, but it should have been harder for sure. Spherical Snail, a bit of a gimmicky fight. Wasn't a huge fan of it. It summoned, I can't remember what it summoned. It summoned a couple of enemies, and if you went over and killed the snail, then they just like died. So pretty underwhelming. We haven't gotten to Star Scourge yet. Spirit Snail, could have done without you. Regal Ancestor Spirit, are they both on here? Yeah. So this is the one that did the lifesteal. So this is my favorite music in the game. I feel like this one for me is an A. And I think Ancestor Spirit for me is an S. Because this was the second time, like you go back and you fight this. So it was like, it didn't have that whimsy of discovering it for the first time. You kind of knew what you're in for. So this one's an S tier for me because the sound was beautiful. The fight, when I first got in there, I was like, this is impossible. I do not understand how I'm supposed to fight this thing because it's so aggressive. Its reach is so insane. It's coming at me so freaking quickly. It just seemed like impossible. And then over fighting it, obviously you learn its moves and stuff. But the music alone was just like my favorite song in the whole game. I freaking loved it. It was very like Sekiro-esque, which I loved. And it was very satisfying to like finally beat it. But the only reason this one's in A is because it's the second time we've seen it. It has a few different things, like it does the lifesteal, so it like absorbs all the enemies in the creatures in the battlefield and like lifesteals and heals, which is kind of cool, but I found this one far more like magical because you go through the process of like lighting all of the flames and then coming up to the corpse and then touching it and then going in. Whereas like the second time you're like, I've already done this. Here we go kind of thing. So for me, that was a little less epic, but this one was amazing. Loved it. So Renala's a funny one for me because I got to her super late and I was so overpowered. So much so that I didn't even see her summon a dragon or a giant or anything. I think I just demolished her in the second phase. Having said that, I have played it again with like less power and experienced that now. So I have overpowered experience and underpowered experience. I like Renala quite a lot. I think it's a pretty cool fight. I think the first phase is like kind of meh. It's a bit gimmicky. You gotta kill the little children and then burst her bubble and then whatever. She's got very low poise as well. I did like the second phase. The second phase was really cool. The cutscene was pretty neat. I like her turning into the moon and then launching it at you and you having to avoid that while also avoiding like the Comet Azur and all of that kind of stuff. It was pretty epic. I don't think it's... It's either B or C. I feel like it's on par with B. I think it's kind of an epic fight. Shatter tier list. If I had just give you all power, they'd just be shuffling around all over because y'all can't agree. I'm gonna put it in B because I think if you compare it to something like Red Wolf, Goskin Duo, I think it's on par with that. I think it's a cool fight. It's got some really tricky elements to it with the summons and stuff. So I like Renala. I think it's a cool fight. Also more lady bosses, please. Revenant Loretta. This is the ghosty version. Where did we put the first version? Here. I didn't like it as much as this one. I think this one was a bit more epic. So I'm going to put Revenant Loretta in the C tier. Or Royal Revenant. Hate these things. But that might mean that they're a good design. They spit poison at you. They freaking scream at you. They teleport. The teleporting's kind of bullshit. The arena where you fight it as well is this tiny little fucking dungeon thing that I hated. This actually made me so mad. I think it's a D. Yeah, it's a D. I don't like it. Rune Bear was fine. Yeah, I liked the bear. The bear was cool. It was pretty aggro. It was pretty scary as like a newish. I got to this pretty early, so it was pretty scary coming up against this thing. I think Lion Guardian, Big Bear. Yeah, I think it lives in C. Starscourge Radahn. Easy S tier for me. The pageantry of this boss was amazing. Loved it. The meteor, fucking ridiculous. He's so aggressive. His reach was crazy. It was a really cool fight as well for like if you were doing the festival side of things, like if you were summoning all of the enemies. Just seeing like, I personally didn't use the summons because I wanted to fight him one-on-one, but seeing like, you know, Alexander and Blade and all of that come together and fight together, it was really fucking cool. And I just think this is one of the best bosses ever. Like, he's just so big and his poor little tiny horse and his backstory is just like absolutely heart-wrenching. Music was sick. The only thing that was like not really annoying, but just like time consuming summoning patches. Yeah. Like the run up to him is time consuming. A lot of people really fucking hated it, but it's kind of like, well, that's just, you know, it's part of it. He's shooting arrows at you and you just got to kind of get over to him as quick as you can, but it does give you that time. As soon as you learn the window to dodge it, it's really not that bad. I could have done without like having a portal in every time because I died to this guy a billion times. But I guess once you learn his resistances as well, it's quite easy to game him because he's very, very weak to bleed. So yeah, he was probably the biggest roadblock before I knew how to tackle him. I was at Radahn for a long time early in my first run. But then I came in my boss rush, under-leveled at level 40 and beat him on like the 5th try. So, you know, as soon as you know how to fight them, it changes the game a lot. But I love Radahn. I think it was a great fight. I think it's one of the best in the game. Yeah, it doesn't have a loading screen. It's just, I don't know. I get it. Could have done without it. Stone Digger Troll, big meh for me. Tibia Mariner, I actually really have a sweet spot for this boss. I don't know why. It's just a sick design and the boat is so funny. I really like the Mariner. It's not overly difficult, but it's not a total cakewalk if you're not good at like crowd management, I suppose. It's not as bad as Pinwheel. Come on. Pinwheel. The Mariner design, like the boss design itself, gives it a bit more of a rank, in my opinion. It's not an A tier. It's easy. I think it's like a C tier. Because when you think of like these bosses, these are really epic and stuff. But I love the design of this boss, so it gets more rank for me. But I like it. There are multiple of them, but they give you death root, so they do have a purpose. I like them. I think they're really funny. They're a cool design. The moves are hilarious. Like when it goes up and then splashes everything. It's just so ridiculous. And I love it. I really like Tree Sentinel. I think it's so funny that they put Tree Sentinel where they did at the very start of the game. Like so rude. For people that don't understand that you can just run around it, and they probably just sat there for like hours trying to beat this freaking thing as one of their first Soulsborns, is kind of hilarious and it's like kind of mean. But I really like Tree Sentinel. I think the moveset's really intense. And like I only learned in my second playthrough, or like a bit of a throwaway playthrough on PlayStation, with magic, that they actually like block and deflect magic. So it has like quite a large set of moves. It is so mean to put Tree Sentinel there. That's one thing I always recommend to people if they're coming into the game for the first time. Like, please just don't try to fight Tree Sentinel. Walk around Tree Sentinel to start with, because they are a bully. But yeah, definitely, I think A fits Tree Sentinel for sure. I think they're a good fight. And you do fight them. You fight the duo of them as well, which I don't think is here. Which is freaking rude. The Valiant Gargoyle. Is this the two of them? I'd probably put that. If this is the one under the water area? Yeah, pretty much. If this is the one with the waterfalls, let's assume this is the duo one. I think that's an A tier, to be honest. I think it's a little bit better than Blackblade Kindred purely because of the arena. The arena's stunning. And it takes you to a whole new area of the game too. I don't know if that's the one at the poison spam. See, I haven't fought them. Like did I first try them? I think I might have first tried or second tried them on my first run, which people were like blown away by. I think I just got super lucky. I don't think I saw the poison move. I think that's probably why I rate it highly. Some of these bosses do have like bullshit moves that I was very fortunate not to encounter. I don't know if this is the one at the stairs though, because I wouldn't say gargoyles. I might put it in B because the other gargoyle's there. So I don't know. I didn't personally experience the poison. If this is the one in the waterfall, love the arena. If it's the one at the stairs, could have done without it. So I think it probably sits there. All right. Wormface. I mean, I didn't fight you and you just spew death and kind of annoying. So meh. Adductor Virgins. I didn't fight them in my first playthrough. I have encountered them on my boss rush, but have not defeated them because my weapon doesn't hurt them at all because it's bleed. I really like these as a character. Like as an enemy, love the design. The moves are terrifying. As a boss, not really sure if it needed to be a boss. I really like them as like a big gnarly enemy in an area, but I think as a boss, kind of random where they are, like in Volcano Manor. It's kind of odd that they're in a cave thing down the bottom and there's two of them. It just doesn't really seem very like relevant. I don't know. It's kind of odd. So I don't know. I like them as enemies. I don't think it needs to be a duo boss fight though. This guy's in a jail. I just find enemies like this, that's where they were made. Okay, that makes a little more sense. This is the guy. He gives you a good, what's it called? He gives you that spell, doesn't he? I think he gives you something good if you're magic build, So I remember instructing Jeff to go there. But yeah, he just spams that freaking orb. Yeah, you're a D. Ah, this is the guy I was thinking of, Adductor Lord. Wait, who's Onyx Lord? Is it the same? I think we put him in D anyway. Yeah. Who the hell is Onyx Lord? I legit don't remember it. Adductor Lord, same. You suck. Electo Black Knife Ringleader. Where do you fight this one? This is like the... Oh, wait. Is that the one? Where do you fight this one? I did fight it. I just don't remember. I'll move on to the next one while you answer. Ancient Hero Zamor. It was okay. It was, it gave you the... I think this gave you the first seal, right? The good seal? Near Rani's last area. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you're going to go up with your other assassin friend because I like you. I like you. Yeah, Zamor. I really liked the moves of this boss. It was really graceful. It kind of reminded me of Dancer a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the one that held the Scar Seal, the first one, not the... Was it Scar Seal then Sword Seal? It was like not the 5 one, the earlier one. So, I mean, this boss had a lot of purpose and I really liked the fight. The music was cool. It was really like graceful the way that it like blew the frost at you and then it would do like little flips and stuff. I liked this boss actually. It was quite cool. I think it's probably... I think it's probably high. I don't know if it's as good as these. It's kind of like in between B and C for me, I think. It's like at the front of C. Like nearly a B, but just not quite a B. Astel. Okay, I don't remember the difference between these two Astels. I'm just going to rate them as if they're the same because I don't really remember. Astel. Astel, Natural Born is B, would be A without the teleport. What's the difference between Natural Born and Stars of Darkness? Do they have any different moves? I don't actually remember. I know I fought them both, but I don't really remember. That's the last one, by the way. Okay. This boss was a fucking whack design. Like, which isn't a bad thing. It's, oh, really? I think you just encountered all the bullshit from the bosses. I liked this fight. I think it was pretty cool. The grab was kind of bullshit because it was really hard to see it coming. I don't really know the difference between them, so I'm just going to rate them the same. I didn't mind it. There was a couple moves that were kind of bullshit, but I did like the design of the boss. It felt very like... It felt really epic because the thing was huge and it was like nightmarish, which I love a bit of nightmarish design. Where does it sit though? It's probably, I don't think it's as bad as a C. I think it's probably up in a B. When I'm looking at the other things in B, I think it's probably on par with that. It's definitely not an A. It's not as good as like any of these. I think it's a C. I'm going to pop that in C. They're both going to go in C. So that's it. That is all of them. So just to recap, I'm just going to recap the S tier because you can see the rest. But S tier, my favorite bosses in Elden Ring: Melania, Malekith, Ratagon, Dragon Lord, plus Platycisax, Fire Giant, Godfrey / Horalu, Morgot Lord of Blood, Morgot, the Fell Omen, Rykard, Ancestor Spirit, and Star Scourge. Which, when you look at that, most of them are rune bearers. They are, like, if they're not rune bearers, they also hold, like, an important item, or they're pivotal to the story. So I think they got the balance pretty friggin' right in this game. All of the meaningful bosses were, like, memorable fights, which I'm assuming would always be the aim. So I think they did a great job, and it's no secret that I fucking adore Elden Ring and everything about it. So that is my Elden Ring boss tier list, assuming that's all of them. There was only a couple in there that I was kind of a bit questionable about, I suppose, because a few of them I don't really remember that much. But there's just so many freaking bosses in this game. There is also a tier list for every boss in every FromSoft ever, but I feel like that would just take me like 10 hours to do, so I don't know. If you enjoyed the tier list and you'd like to see me do more, let me know. You can jump into the Discord and pop it in suggestions if you want to recommend some tier lists for me to do. Or if you're watching here on YouTube, because I'm going to pop this on YouTube, let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the tier list and what you think. Let me know down in the comments what your S tier bosses would be and how much you disagree with me.